Hello everyone, good day and welcome to episode 65 of This Week in Testing. So how has your week been? What have you been up to? What's been happening for you this week? So we're going to spend the next hour having hopefully a number of conversations. I'll invite some folks up on stage in about, maybe 15 minutes or so. And then, join us up on stage. We're going to have a good old chat about your week. Please be mindful of our community code of conduct, which you can find on ministryoftesting.com. But before we dive into that, let's have a little look around and see what's been happening this week in testing. First up, I really want to do a shout out to those who contributed to the testing planner episode 6, The Apprentice, which at the time of recording, we had happening yesterday in the community. So big shout out to just, a wonderful bunch of people who were just so up for sharing their knowledge and experiences. So we had Tristan Lombard, Cassandra Leung, Barry Ehigiator, Eddie Stokes, Elizabeth Sagroba, Jesse Barkley, Alessandra Moirera, Natalia Burmai, Shutos Mishra, Christine Pinto, Maddie Kilsby McMurray, Scott Kenyon. These folks were sharing so much about the world of testing, like how to get into testing, how to interview, how to prepare yourself to find your next opportunity. We also discussed things around onboarding. So just to shout out that these people put a real effort in to share their knowledge and experiences. So on behalf of the community, super grateful for folks doing that. It's very, very cool. And those recordings will be available in the coming weeks. So for those that missed out, do not worry. You shall get access to those recordings. Keep your eyes and ears out for that announcement coming in the coming weeks. So the next testing planet, for those who want to join again, is on continuous quality. That is happening on the 27th of November. It's now live on our events page. So if you head over to ministryoftesting.com/events, you can register for that. And also, if you'd like to put yourself forward around the topic of continuous quality, appreciate that's quite a big one, but we're looking for people to contribute to this episode. So you can do that by going to ministryoftesting.com/contribute, share an idea there, put yourself forward for that episode, and let's see if there's an opportunity for us to work together. But congrats to Ross Aubrey Smith for achieving their MOT Advanced Certificate in Test Automation. Very cool indeed. It's good to see Ross Aubrey Smith celebrating. Congrats. We've also had a couple more meetups up and running. So we now have MOT Auckland in New Zealand. That's happening on the 12th of November. We have Mai Ray's Sai, apologies there for mispronunciation of your surname, doing a talk. And also to note, for those that were attending the York meetup here in the UK, or where I'm recording from here in the UK, that shifted to the 5th of December. And you have the speaker, Sam Widdowson, getting involved. So if you can get yourself to York, do put that date in your diary, 5th of December. It was lovely to see Ben Doan, who's in the audience with us today, and often a co-host and wonderful contributor to This Week in Testing. Ben was celebrating his Ministry of Testing profile. So we're currently beta testing an MOT profile feature. And it was cool that Ben was sharing all the good stuff that is appearing on his profile. So for anyone who kind of contributes to the community, we will present that information on your profile page, and you can share it with people, celebrate, what you're contributing to the community. So we've got lots of ideas about what we could do with that profile feature, but do go check it out. If you log into ministryoftesting.com, if you click on your My MOT and then select your name, you can have a look at your profile and make that one public if you wish to do so and share with the world. Talking of more community contributions, lovely to see Rahul Pawal celebrating what he has been doing with the Ministry of Testing community. He's actually added a dedicated section on his LinkedIn page, which looks really cool. So that links to all the articles and the courses and everything that Rahul has been up to, and the talks that Rahul has done with the Ministry of Testing. Maybe you might want to consider that. It's a good way to showcase all the good things that you can, celebrate internally with your company that you're working at, or potentially, showcase your skills to potential hires if you are looking to change roles. It's a great way to do it. Showcase your community contributions. Can definitely support you in your career growth. That was a hot topic that kept on repeating itself during yesterday's episode of the Testing Planet. Find ways to showcase your achievements. We've also, for those who use other social apps other than LinkedIn, so folks who are on Blue Sky, we have created a starter pack. So the starter pack includes people that are part of the Ministry of Testing community. So head over to Blue Sky and look for @ministryoftesting.com, and you'll see that there is a starter pack available under that profile. So if you are new to Blue Sky, jump on into it and connect with your fellow testing professionals. I see that Beren van Deel, the creator of TestSphere and Risk Storming, is hosting the next Brute, which is a wonderful conference and a great way for professionals to get together. And that's run in Belgium, different parts of Belgium. And Beren is looking for a host venue. So if you are based in Belgium, you have some options, maybe some office space, or of a good place that can help support this event, do get in touch with Beren. He's available on LinkedIn or on the Ministry of Testing Slack. It's good to see earlier on today, Eddie Stokes, a wonderful community member, celebrating his wins of the week. And I shall read them out because I think it's cool that we should celebrate them with Eddie. Happy Friday, folks. What are your wins for the week? I've written 2 articles, been a guest on a podcast, had a cosmic conversation hosted by Ministry of Testing. Very happy with those. Absolutely, Eddie. Thank you for everything you've done this week. It's been amazing. But yeah, maybe, if you have a win that has happened this week, I'd love to hear from you. If you want to pop up on stage in a few minutes when I open out the invite to our audience today, just jump on stage, share a win. We will celebrate that win with you. And then you can leg it. You can jump on stage, share your win, and then run off somewhere else. Or you can hang around and we can have a bit more of a chat up on stage. Before I do that, inviting people up, there are some job roles that we've seen advertised. So we see a junior tester based in Nottingham, 2 days a week in the office. That's via Rebel Recruiters. So if you have a look on the Ministry of Testing jobs board, you can get access to that. Plus also there's another ad for a principal QA engineer based in Manchester, UK, and that's via Searchability. So Gabby Trotter at Searchability, a wonderful recruiter. Also, we see that Aaron Ingram is looking for a new QA test engineer at Remarkable Group based in Manchester or London in the UK. And that was a really good share from Iseren Chima, who's often joins This Week in Testing. So thank you, Isren, for continuing to share jobs with Ministry of Testing when you spot them. You share them with us and then we can share them with our network. So very grateful for that. There's also a QA manager role in Portsmouth in Hampshire, UK by Searchlight Cyber. Again, these are all on our jobs board. And I will include a link to all of this on our MOT Weekly, which is our weekly newsletter. So this goes out every Monday. And you can get access to it by signing up for a free Ministry of Testing account. You can also see it on LinkedIn via the Ministry of Testing LinkedIn newsletter, and also jump on ministryoftesting.com/newsletter. This is a roundup of stuff that's been happening in the community. So some of the things that I've mentioned already, plus much, much more. A few people open to work here. So I see that Kunle Abatan open to work. They are looking for a QA engineer, test engineer, quality analyst role. Again, we will repost all of the open to work requests that come through that tag Ministry of Testing. So do have a look at the Ministry of Testing feed to see those people who are available for work. Mark Ingram is open to work, and I see that Anna Sauser is also looking for a QA lead or head of QA role. So do get in contact with them and have a look at their profiles and see if there's a good match if you are hiring right now, or perhaps you could reshare that open to work requests and get them out into the network. Great. Well, let's jump into some conversations. So yeah, maybe we start with that theme of wins of the week. I'd love to hear, because, weeks can be tough, weeks can be good, and somewhere in between. So, no matter how big or small, I'd love to hear, something that you want to celebrate, maybe something yourself, or you want to celebrate something that someone else has done. Just go for it. So I'll wait for some hands to go up. And I do see that Christine Pinto has put her hand up. Thank you, Christine. So let's get Christine up on stage. Christine, welcome.
Hello, Simon, and hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great and awesome like I'm today.
Oh, it's great to have you up on stage here. So yeah, how's your week in testing been, Christine?
The week in testing is very interesting because, as some people might know, I'm now not in testing anymore of software. I'm basically in testing my own startup, and we had this week a prototype in testing. And it was very interesting to see the iterative approach of learning, building, and getting feedback, and that from the testing perspective as well, to test as early as possible to get feedback and to learn about it. And that was very interesting as we tried to build a spaghetti tower, the highest one possible. And I learned now kindergartners are very, very good in this versus us, because I think we're just overthinking too much. But it was really interesting to see the testing in that. Another win, and I really would love to share this, is we onboarded another member in our founding team. Love joins us as a chief product owner, and I'm very excited that we are now 3 people tackling this together with the community. And then my last win, and I think some people saw this already, I shared in the Slack community my Figma design for our MVP, and I'm like super stoked and excited that this is now becoming a reality. And I got immediately feedback from Eddie about the accessibility. Thank you so much for that, because when I presented today, yeah, I definitely also see that, and it's getting real. And I'm so amazed about this, and I'm so grateful. I know I say that every time I'm coming on here, but I'm so grateful for this community, for all the feedback we're getting, for all the different insights. Hey, it's like I've been in the testing industry, but it's just our industry and how we work is so different from each person, from each industry. And I'm so grateful for anybody who gives me feedback, who gives us feedback, that we can make this tool something that we can all want to use. Because I have to say, I looked this week into another competitor of us, and I was watching their video, and I thought to myself, that looks like another boring tool. Even the introduction was like, yeah, how that's how test management tools look. And I was like, and I want to reinvent that. So if you want to reinvent this, that was my win. And I really thank for sharing this, because I think everybody should build a spaghetti tower. Very interesting to team build.
I love it, Christine. Very, very cool indeed. I'm loving those wins. And yeah, I mean, I'd love the ambition of, let's move away from boring tools. I like where you're coming from with that. So yeah, do get in. So I encourage our audience and for folks to share what Christine is up to with their own networks as well, whether it's their teammates or sharing on LinkedIn or other social platforms. Do introduce people to Epic Test Quest. We have to support folks, and we should support folks who are, building new tools to support us as a testing community. So yeah, kudos to you, Christine. Keep going for it, and it's great to kind of get your updates and get the community involved. It's wonderful.
And thank you so much. And I also want to really, on this journey, even if it's as hard as it is, or it's sometimes hard, encourage anybody who wants to start a startup, just reach out also to me. Hey, even if ours is now very specific, but if you want to do something else, in this journey, we really looked also, because we don't bootstrap, we do this funded by the EU, and there are multiple programs also in the European Union and above. And we looked into a lot, and I can also help a little bit when you want to look for these things, because like you said, Simon, building a tool for us, which helping us is, I find it so important. The more and more I connect with people who also build tools for us, they're not connected with our community. They're not really listen. I don't know how they listen to our feedback. I have no idea, but it feels shocking for all the tools we're using. And yes, they have great developer advocates, but it's like it's different when it starts from our community. I believe that, at least I'm a strong believer in community. So yeah, reach out to me if you're not interested in a test management solution, that's also fine. But also if you want to start a startup, especially when you're female as well, because I want to support more women in this sector, reach out and connect, and we can see what we can do. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Awesome. Well, stick around. You're more than welcome to stay up on stage. I see that Mariam has put their hand up, so let's get Mariam up onto the stage. Hey there, Mariam. Welcome. It's good to see you. How has your week in testing been? And Mariam, fingers crossed, the tech works for you.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Hooray!
Okay, great. Hello everyone. I hope that you all are feeling good, like Christine. So I'm happy for you, Christine, and I'll MG you to know what can I do to help you later. So I wanted to share with you. I'm not sure if it's a win, but it's a new experience that I had last weekend. I attended a virtual conference organized by the test tribe called TestFlix. I'm sure many of you know about it already. But for me, it was my first time attending a binge learning event. I really didn't know what to expect. So it was an intense experience with great insights and ideas. The conference was packed with great sessions on API testing mindset, automation, AI, of course, and even leadership and career growth. Honestly, I couldn't catch all the session live. My superhuman mode was deactivated. Between the live sessions, the booth, and the networking, my brain was fried. So I spent some time this week rewatching the recordings and trying to absorb what I couldn't. Honestly, I preferred the topics about API, testing mindset, and career growth. I struggled a bit with some sessions, some advanced topics for me, I guess. It was an eye-opening experience, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow. So that's it. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for sharing, Mariam. And yeah, congrats on attending your first virtual event. That is very cool. And yeah, I'm with you on, and you're certainly not alone with many, many community members who can feel overwhelmed when they attend an online event. Can be like a lot to take in, send your brain spinning, sparks lots of ideas, lots of questions like, oh yeah, what about that? What about that? I think that's very familiar. And yeah, kudos to you for coming back to watching the talks and the recordings again. It's fascinating what we can learn when we come back to a recording. I find myself with some of the Test Bash talks here at Ministry of Testing. I'll come back to a talk where I maybe saw it live, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and then watch it back, and I have a total different experience revisiting, and also stuff that I've watched online only and then watch again online, kind of pick up on different bits and pieces. So I'm always fascinated how we learn and the many ways that we learn and take in information, and based on our energy levels and where we're at in our careers and where our headspace is at that particular time. it's complex. So I think it's good that people can put that time aside, and when people do commit to their learning and development, and find their groove and find their way to go for it, good things can happen. And you know, we see this time and time again with the Ministry of Testing community, that someone will just watch one thing and it will absolutely change their career path. There was something be sparked in the head, like, oh, I didn't know that existed, or I didn't even think of that concept, and they've got something, and that forms the foundation of the rest of their career until they find the next thing that then switches them into a different mode. So yeah, thanks for sharing, Mariam. That's cool. I mean, if ever you want to write up this stuff, and apologies if you've done this already, I hadn't spotted it. But if you, a summary, or maybe like one post on one of the talks that stood out the most, and then kind of, you're more than welcome to do that on the club. So the club, for those listeners who are unaware, is our forum here at Ministry of Testing. So you could do so people can put out questions to the community, they can share some information that they've learned, and then they can ask a question like, oh, what do you think about this? Like, what's your take on this particular topic that I've described, or these key points that I've brought out? We love it when that happens, because that sparks even more learning. So learning off the back of learning, it's cool when that happens. So yeah, Mariam and anyone else who's listening today, if you see something good in the community and you've learned something, even if it's a small thing, you think, no one else will be interested in that, I guarantee someone will be interested in it, and they will be able to share their take on their experience of that particular thing that you've shared. So yeah, do go for it.
Yes, there were some interventions from someone called AJ Balamurgadas. Apologies if I'm misspelling the surname, but it's a little bit difficult. He talked about API first mindset. He encouraged the participants to adopt an API first mindset by prioritizing API testing and equipping teams with API expertise for robust and dependable automation. It was very interesting for me, and I watched it twice. It was interesting. Perhaps I'm going to I'll try to write something about that, and that's it.
That'd be great. Absolutely. Oh, Christine, jump on in.
Yeah, I just want to say I totally agree that it's not just about the learning and sharing. I definitely discover something and share. I always agree on this, because we are all on so different journeys, and somebody will be on like one step before or one step ahead, and also just sparking this discussion is super important, I find. But what I also like, and that would be my feedback also to Miriam, is just share also how that conference was. Right? There's so many conferences out there, and I sometimes, especially if I haven't been there yet, I have struggling sometimes to know, okay, is this now something I can even take the time of it? Like what kind of things did you take out of this? How was the atmosphere? Also, how did you network? I would also love to hear that. Like just a little post that in the club, that when somebody else wants to join this conference the next time, they can see this and have a better understanding, maybe can also, I don't know if it was for free or paid. If it's paid, and if they want to get that budget from their company, then they can also take your feedback into this and put this into like, hey, yeah, I saw this and this in our club and people had good experience. This is good, because it just helps sometimes, especially some of them. It's just easier, especially if you've not been there, I would say. I really enjoy that.
I love that. And to add to that, Christine, the good thing, I think, what happens when people put stuff out is, I think, we get caught up in the day-to-day. We get caught up in like, what's new today, what's happened this week. Well, we're on this podcast talking about our week in testing. However, this stuff tends to be evergreen most of the time. Like, yes, of course, technologies change. Yes, of course, frameworks are updated, etc., etc. Yeah, there's some fundamentals we see across the community, like real essential stuff that doesn't evolve too much, and that's for good reason. So when people do talk about that stuff, it could be a post, say, let's take the club for an example, post from say two years ago that's still relevant today. Someone may discover that through a keyword search on Google or asking an AI assistant, and they'll end up on it, and it will still be relevant to that person. And to amplify your point, Christine, of us all on different journeys. So it's like, yeah, I think we can often get caught up in the what's happening now. And it's like, oh, there's good stuff from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. We should also try and find ways to bring that into the conversation and repost stuff and revisit things from the past. And also as an exercise of like what's changed since. I think that's often a useful thought exercise and a practical exercise when people publish their thoughts and reflections on how things have changed as well. Great. Well, thanks so much for sharing, Marianne. Loving that win. Very, very cool. Well, I think we should stay on the theme of wins, right? We've got 30 minutes left. So we were halfway through. So thank you for sticking with us, folks, to our listeners today. Yeah, I'm up for the celebratory stuff today. So let's do it. If you are in the audience and you're like, oh, I've not done this before, I've not put my hand up and come up on stage, now might be a good time to do it, right? I'm hopeful that you know this is a supportive space, and we will amplify you and we will listen. Whatever you want to share, whatever's been a win, no matter how big or small, please do put your hand up, jump up on stage and share a win of this week.
Yeah, also no matter if it's silly or not, like my spaghetti tower, it's always fun to share. I can always tell you that it's a lot of fun being here.
Absolutely. The spaghetti tower heuristic. I like that, Christine. We should use that from now on. Cool. Well, we have James and Demi. So James had their hand up first. So Demi, thank you for waiting patiently. I'm just going to bring James up on stage and then we'll get you up on stage afterwards. So James, welcome. How's your week in testing? And yeah, what's been your win for this week?
We can't hear you yet.
Yeah, if you can, to your point, Christine, James, if you can hear us.
I'm muted on 2 different things again. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me now?
It's a double mute button. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so the week in testing for me has been pretty good so far. Learning lots of new stuff as always. But the win that I was going to refer to wasn't actually for myself. So earlier this week, Cyprus Conf 2024 happened. And within that, there was a talk by Petros from MOT Greece. And he is a big part of the MOT community, right? So I was just going to give him a shout out for what he did. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Unfortunately, I had a clash. So I need to go back and give it a watch. But from what I've read of his description, I think it uses the RESTful Booker, which is also hosted by MOT as well. So there's a lot of tiebacks to this, right? So yeah, it was just basically a quick shout out for him. And if anyone's got the opportunity to go and give it a watch, because it looks really interesting. And there's loads of other things on there as well. There's like a complete 2-day lineup of loads of different talks on Cyprus.
Nice one, James. Thank you for sharing. Very cool indeed. Yeah, it's great when I just really appreciate you sharing that. That's all I can say with that one. Petros is doing wonderful things for and with the community, and it's nice when he gets out there to other events that Ministry of Testing is supporting, such as Cyprus Conf 2024. But yeah, likewise, I need to follow up on that. I think it was 2 days and lots of good speakers. Trying to think of some of the names off the top of my head, but yeah, definitely worth digging into. So amplifying James' words. Thank you, James. That's a wonderful win and very kind of you to share. But yeah, do stick around. I'm going to get Demi up onto stage. Demi, welcome. How has your week in testing been?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first up, personal win. The first time I'm here live speaking on This Week in Testing, so yay!
Hooray! That's awesome.
No, this week I've only been a tester for like a year and a half. So this week we had our big project wrap-up retrospective. So this is my first ever project that I finished as a tester. So I thought that was a big win. And we've recently, in our company, we started up for our department a quality improvement board that I'm a part of, and we are working on setting up our first event. We're going to organize our very own mini testing conference, quality conference. So we're gathering all the topics at the moment and making all the presentations. So pretty exciting.
Oh my goodness, it sounds epic, Demi. I mean, that is a full win fest for this week. So congratulations. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got lots of questions, certainly around the retrospective. Were there any kind of key takeaways that, obviously respecting privacy and IP and all of that stuff, any sort of key takeaways that you feel, you know what, I'll share that with the audience today. That might be something that would be useful that they might apply to their projects. I know, of course, everybody's context is different, understandably, but maybe there's something that stood out that might resonate with someone in the audience today.
I think a pretty good one that we had was that specifically for the testers, we wanted to do a bug review. So whenever a bug is reported by the business, so not by one of us, but someone of the end users reported a bug, then we as testers go take a look to see, did we miss a test case in our testing, or did it happened due to some other new feature being implemented and we didn't include it in the regression testing. So we decided that a good action point would be is to add to our process that every time someone from the business reports a bug to us, that we go review our testing process to see if we need to improve it.
Very nice. Very, very cool indeed. Excellent. And thinking ahead to your, joining the Quality Improvement Board, congratulations on that, and setting up your own testing quality conference. Oh, that's very exciting. I wonder, I would recommend, if you get the chance, if you're not connected with her already, Parveen Khan, based in London here in the UK, she organizes internal testing and kind of quality conferences within her own company. Definitely worth connecting with, and she will certainly be able to share some thoughts on that if that would help. And also, feel free to put that question out on the club. Maybe it could be, what advice would you share for organizing and running an internal QA testing conference? No doubt there'd be plenty of people who would want to jump in and share their thoughts. And again, my apologies if I've assumed that this is perhaps something new to you. Please tell me otherwise. But yeah, please do ask the community for their thoughts and, what's worked for them in their context. How is it set up? How is it run? What was the process? How do people get involved? All of that stuff. Lots of questions to ask.
Yeah, like I said, I've only been a tester for a year and a half, so not a lot of experience with it, but I'm trying my best to get more involved in the testing community as a whole group. So I'm hoping, to make use of it now that I'm part of it.
Wonderful, 100%.
That is so awesome. I wanted to just give, in case you also need another reference, is Miley. I met her in Test Bash, and she's also, I think, I forgot, Lithuania, somewhere there, I'm not completely sure, please don't, no, Estonia. And she also just organized an internal testing conference with even external speakers and everything. And it looked very, very good. And I definitely agree to Simon, put a club post on it, because I would love to see the feedback from so many people, because I believe it's such a good thing to do internal testing conferences, because then you include the whole organization around your specific problem. And I find that it's the best I can imagine. So I encourage you, write a post so that we can all share these things. I will tag the people. If I see your post, I will tag the people. I know that they put something on there as well, because this is just, I think this is so valuable. And we should also bring it to other companies as well, because you can do it low budget as just have internal speakers, or if you even have a little budget and try to get external speakers. Or sometimes it's not about budget. If something is in Berlin and somebody wants to speak about it, I would come there also without any budget, because I want to support the main thing, which we all believe, is that testing is a team responsibility. And we want to bring the quality standard inside the whole team on a good way, that we are not just, what did I read this week? We are not a gate, we are more like a traffic light or something like that. I like comparison, yeah. So I encourage you, go, write it.
Nice one, Christine. I'm loving it. Yeah, and it's Mila Rohivali. I perhaps have mispronounced her name, but yeah, Mila, she's great. She was recently, I think, yeah, we both, I think, chatted to her, Christine, didn't we? Test Bash UK, Test Bash Brighton last month. So yeah, definitely. But what I'll do, Demi, I'll pop you a DM after this conversation, and I'll share those two names and links to their profiles. And I'll kind of, yeah, definitely go for it. We're putting it out to community. And also we have, for all of our listeners as well, a global network of meetups, kind of mentioned at the start. So those meetup organizers, while those meetups are external, typically they're hosted by companies and run by the community, so they could certainly share some advice as well. In fact, James, who's up on stage with us, helps organised MOT Coventry off the top of my head, and I apologise if it's Nottingham and I've got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Coventry, James.
It is. It's Coventry.
Whew, crikey. Pressure was on there not to look that one up, just to double check. I'm sharing misinformation live on This Week in Testing. But yeah, James, actually, whilst you're here, what initial thoughts would you say to someone who's looking to set up their own internal conference?
I think the biggest thing for us when we started taking over, because other people ran it before us, we kind of took it on. I think it was just after COVID, we started to try and sort of reignite it all. The biggest hurdle for a lot of people, I think, is having the place to do it. If you have the place, like we use our work offices, and we've been, work are kind enough to allow us to use all of their offices and microphones and screens and all that kind of stuff. So if you've got that, you're off to a winner straight away. I think the biggest thing for us when we first started was we were trying really hard to get speakers, sort of quality talks. It was quite tough right at the beginning because we didn't really know how to reach out to people to ask them if they wanted to do stuff. But now I'm literally of the mindset of, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I just message everybody. I'm like, do you want to do it? If you want to, the platform's there. We get some. We've had some quite good speakers. Ben, I think, is on the call. He spoke for us fairly recently as well. Like, that his talk went down really well with everybody that attended. So yeah, we've had some really good content. And I think the biggest thing for us that we've started, or at least for myself, that I've started to realize is it's not necessarily about the talk, it's about the communication and the discussions that get triggered afterwards as well. So we specifically put like a networking time before and after, to allow people to kind of discuss what they've heard or any other topics as well. So I think it's kind of just breaking it down and not focusing too much on what the content is. Allow people to talk, allow them to communicate. Essentially, just have fun. We try and make it as fun as possible. And I think that's the key to it. If it's too strict and too formal, people get bored with it quite quickly. But if it's quite fun and enjoyable, people are more likely to come back to it in the future. Hopefully that helps.
It's great advice, James. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, Demi, please, yeah, connect with the rest of the community, and also to our listeners as well. If you are setting up your own internal conference, please do reach out to the community. And also here at Ministry of Testing, we organise various events across the year, including a big in-person conference called Test Bash. So our next one is happening in 2025, the start of October. So wow, we've got less than a year to go to get that one organised. Crikey, pressure's on already. But it's all good. We've got an awesome team who build out those conferences. But certainly, we can share some advice with anyone, including yourself, Demi, about some things to consider when you're putting on a conference, whether that's in person, whether that's online or hybrid, or whatever setup you're thinking of doing. So yeah, just ask. And yeah, to your point, James, I really want to amplify the if you don't ask, you don't get. So we certainly here at Ministry of Testing have a couple of things that guide us. One is always be inviting. So this is an inclusive community. We are spotting folks that are up to something, and I mean that in a good way, like up to good things, and we want to amplify those people and invite them to do more things. So we always then defer to always be asking. Like, we've got to ask the community, because if we don't ask, then things just won't happen. So always be inviting, always be asking. We combine those two things together and good things tend to happen. So we shall continue with the asking. Talking of which, I should ask again if, thank you, Demi, please stick around on stage. It's great to connect with you here on This Week in Testing. But yeah, we've got about another 15 or so minutes today. I would love to perhaps find out if there's been some more wins of this week. What else has been happening in your week of testing? Oh, Christine, go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Simon, when is the the open call for speakers? It's going to close on the Test Bash Brighton next year, because I'm pretty sure maybe some people want to apply, as I want to apply, and when all encouraged, as I had my first speak on such a big stage in Brighton this year. Do apply. It's awesome to stay there. It's awesome to be with our community, and it's an incredible feeling, because you will never, and I spoke on multiple different stages in my life already, but this stage full of our community, this love, but also this energy. I mean, really the energy you get on the stage. I've been on other ones where it's basically people just sit in front of me and like, okay, but the energy I got there is the best energy I ever gotten anywhere. So everybody who ever thought maybe like public speaking could be my thing, come. It's a safe space. It's awesome. So yeah, let me know when is the call for the speakers are ending.
No, I'm hearing you, Christine, and yeah, thank you for sharing that. Amplify that as well. It is a incredible experience being up on stage for sure in that environment for a Test Bash Brighton. So we don't have an end date yet, but people can put themselves forward right now. They can head over to ministryoftesting.com/contribute. We will, over the coming period, be putting out a theme for the next Test Bash. So as it stands, the theme isn't there yet. That's something we need to work on as a team, but it is work in progress behind the scenes. Yet that doesn't stop folks from putting themselves forward. While conferences can very much value from having specific themes. So for example, this year, our day one was centered around AI, and day two was much more open and tended to lean on more of the kind of human or softer skills side of testing. So the idea for really is just to put your ideas forward. Not only do we encourage people to put themselves forward to speak at our conferences, people can also write for Ministry of Testing, and we pay everyone who contributes. They have the choice of taking the cash, or they can donate their fee to the scholarship fund, which enables people who aren't in a position to pay for a professional membership or access to Test Bash. People can also record short talks. So James, who's up on stage with us right now, has recorded what we call a 404 talk. So it's 4 minutes and 4 seconds. And Christine did that just the other day. We played it yesterday. It's going to be up on our site very, very soon. There is many other ways to contribute to the community. So share an idea, and then as a team here at Ministry of Testing, we review these collectively. And we're like, oh yeah, you know what? That is a fantastic idea. Let's work with that person. Let's co-create something and get that out to the community and reward that person for it, financially, and also the fact that that person will get amplified across our network and all the various places. And nothing beats doing something for the community. It's obviously, I say obviously, maybe it's not, but I'll say it is such a good feeling when you do something for the community. Like, you share your knowledge and experience, you give back. You don't have to give back, but giving back is awesome. And it's a lovely feeling. And then it sparks more conversations, and you'll spark something in someone that you'll never meet. There'll be someone on the planet right now who will be hearing what you're sharing, or they'll be reading what you've written, and they may never contact you, but you may change their career, and that is a wonderful thing. So yeah, please do get involved and contribute in many, many ways. like today, you're all here, right? Everyone's listening, and that's a contribution. So thank you so much. Good stuff. Okay, well, let's put it out to the audience again. Maybe someone who hasn't spoken before. I'd love to hear from you. So if you'd like to put your hand up, jump up on stage and share a win. Oh, lovely. I can see that Asma has put their hand up. So Asma, I'm going to press the button to bring you up on stage. Here we go for the technology. Is LinkedIn helping us today? Asma, welcome to This Week in Testing. Thank you for joining us on stage. How are you doing?
Thank you, Simon. I'm doing good. I got a well-deserved break after 2 months working at my new company. So yeah, it's been good. And a win that I want to share is a bit different. I really love the idea that you guys are working on like reflecting through this. This is my first time here on This Week in Testing by Ministry of Testing. So for me, a win, there are quite a few wins. So I am based in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka doesn't have any active QA community. So I'm working on setting something up for them to connect with the physical meetup and all of that. And so yeah, it's been interesting setting up things and planning things around that. We are coming up with a logo for it, post ideas, everything. So that's a good thing. And the interesting win that I found was I am a person with 4 years experience in total, and I'm a self-taught QA engineer. So now I work as a QA lead, and interestingly, a director of a company based in Sri Lanka reached out to me to do a training for his team, and that didn't go well because they were like challenged with the amount of content, the time, and well, the negotiations didn't go well. But I feel like it's kind of a win, so that I know that I'm heading in the right direction as a lead. It's very rare we get opportunities like that in Sri Lanka, especially. So I'm really grateful for that. And this week I actually got to sit down and explore Ministry of Testing and do a bit more networking and work on my LinkedIn stuff. So it's been good. I'm grateful for this week.
What a week. That's epic. That's very cool, Asma. Well, thank you for sharing. And yeah, kudos to everything that you've achieved this week. Oh, your meetup sounds exciting. Do let us know how that's progressing over time. And yeah, maybe there's an opportunity.
Sure.
I know, yeah, we can connect you with our meetup team here at Ministry of Testing, and maybe there's a collaboration opportunity there. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll pop you a message after this, and I can introduce you to Deanna, who looks after our meetups across the globe. And maybe
Awesome.
maybe there's something to be done there. But that's very cool. And yeah, very interesting you
Sounds
shared
good.
that. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I wonder, yeah, you mentioned about I guess, yeah, being self-taught. I mean, that is a very interesting topic. And I do wonder how many of us in the community are self-taught, or whether some of us go through like official training, at what point we do that. Yeah, that's a very interesting one to explore. So kind of, maybe I'm just going to make a note of, I think we can maybe start more of a conversation across the community and find out that information. So for all our listeners,
Sure.
something that we're doing at Ministry of Testing is spotting trends. So we're providing insights. So we put out lots of polls to the community throughout the week. We take that data, we take the commentary from those polls as well, and we turn that into a trends post, which is available for our professional members. And they get some insight on all sorts of topics. We've got lots of trends on AI. We've got lots on tooling. We've got just all sorts of ways of working trends as well. So some on hiring as well, how people manage meetings, all of this stuff. And I feel, asking the community, do you consider yourself self-taught, or, who has taught you? I think that's a fascinating one, because I feel, I feel passionately about learning through community, and I feel a lot of people who do well in their careers learn through community. You know, they are connecting with people, they're consuming so much knowledge and information from others, turning it into their own knowledge and experience, and then giving it back. And I think that's a wonderful thing when that happens. But Asma, yeah, great to meet you. Great to meet you, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Marianne, jump on in, go for it.
Thank you. I think I believe I am a self-taught person also, because I told you the other time that I suffered of the imposter syndrome for a while. What kept me from considering software testing career for a long time, but finally, when I decided to go way beyond my self-defined limitations, like you said, Simon, and have a career in software testing, I started with the ISTQB certification, and I didn't stop upskilling since. I'm using all I can find: the Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn courses, and of course the community. MOT is a key. How to say it? A key
Helper, maybe?
contributor of my upskilling. I believe I'm very grateful because I stumbled into this community. It was really a great opportunity for me, and it is. It's not was. It is. So I'm very grateful for you all. Okay, that's it.
That is so awesome. I have to set on this. I think also, like, I read a statistic that 60% of people who go into testing never did a formal education on that. It's actually stumbled by, I don't want to call it accidents or maybe coincidence or something like this, because I think also we don't have a formal there is no master of testing or something. It would be very interesting how this would look like. And I would just lead people back to, in the club is currently a very interesting conversation about the ISTQB certification. And I really enjoy this conversation about if it's good or not. And if, like, also, especially in the job seeking market right now, some people see it's growing or it's not growing. And it's very interesting to see this conversation and to get a little bit out of it, because everybody has different experience and opinion. And I think how you did it, Miriam, is completely good, that you used it as a start and then figured out. I would love to also see maybe your feedback on that. How did your ISTQB certification helped you, or maybe not, or was difficult? Because it is something we have to learn about, because especially these kind of certificates are quite the investment if you have to do it for yourself. And it's always good to know how people see that.
I passed the certificate after 4 years of experience. I worked as a software tester for more than 4 years, and then without having a certificate, I learned on the job. But after 4 years of experience, and after being laid off, to tell the truth, I went for the certificate, and I went for my upskilling and learning a little bit about testing and the techniques.
And I think that's totally fine.
I didn't find it a very sorry. I didn't find the STQB preparation very hard. Maybe because I had already the experience, but it helped me to set the basics. It's good to have the basics of testing, and it helped me. Settle things. I don't know if I can say it like that, but yes, it helped me very much.
That's great to hear, Marianne. Well, now would be a good time to talk about I guess you've got ISTQB. What would we call it? We call it the MOT STEC So that stands for the Ministry of Testing Software Testing Essentials Certificate. Recently launched. There are a couple of modules ready to take right now. We are building out 20 modules that cover all the basics to all the advanced techniques. We've created it with insights from 300 more testing pros. This is going to give you up-to-date knowledge and an industry-recognized certification. Flexible learning, you can do it self-paced, it's all online, so you can learn when it suits you. And right now we've got the 50% early bird offer. You can grab the deal before December 22nd this year. So early access equals a head start in your testing career. The initial modules are out now, but the full course will be available by the end of February next year. And I can see in the audience, AD Stokes is a huge contributor and curator of this wonderful certification. We've got many more conversations that we've been having with the community. We've recorded those conversations, going back to all the essential stuff. Like I'm in a very privileged position to review everything that comes through that we're building out. And I'm like, everything I'm watching, everything I'm reading, I'm like, everyone needs to see this. And I know I'm biased because I'm part of Ministry of Testing, but really, this is the certification, the type of certification that I wish I had at the very start of my career. And that was back in 2003, a long time ago. I wish I had this. It's absolutely amazing. The community is building it and creating it and providing all this incredible knowledge. So yeah, do go check that out. You can find the certification stuff at the bottom of the homepage, so ministryoftesting.com. Do go investigate, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask any of us here at Ministry of Testing or the rest of the community. Well, we have come to the hour. Very grateful for everyone joining today's This Week in Testing. Thank you, an extra thanks to all of those who join us on stage today. We had Christine, Mariam, James, Demi, and Asma. Lovely to hear from you all. Very grateful for you sharing today. And starting lots of wonderful discussions and reflections. And, you know, let's keep that conversation going. Let's take action off the back of those conversations. Always be inviting, always be asking. That's what we need to keep doing as a community. But that's it for today. Please do join us and look out for another This Week in Testing. We put the events live on LinkedIn and on the Ministry of Testing events page. Please do enjoy the rest of your day wherever you may be, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now, everyone.